talking football, and they all wear a whistle. Yeah, it's stupid, but what did you expect? It's a podcast called 25 Whistles. 25 Whistles.
I'm rich. Let's start the show.
Yeah,
rich.
you are.
I made a lot of money last night.
Nice.
A lot of money. It was awesome. I had 2 futures, and I bet it on it again, and I bet the stupid bet where it's like, if all the jersey numbers add up to over 160.
Those are so dumb.
You did take one of those?
Yeah.
I did see that. Wow.
And then Eddie bet if it hits a goalpost.
It was at plus 450. I'm like, why not put $1 on that? It hits the dang goalpost.
I took the octopus bet. Did you,
You
see
did,
that
so you
on
got
there?
the Jalen Hurts octopus,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. I never even heard of that.
Me either. What does that mean?
6 and 2, 8.
Dang, okay.
It's the only way you can score 8.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
So what'd that pay out?
It was plus 1,400. I put $1 on it, so I won $15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Eddie sent me that hit the goalpost after it went boom, and the Chiefs missed that field goal, and I just threw it into Photoshop, or I'd redo it, and it looks like I won like $1,500.
Yeah.
I was like, look at this, I bet $250. I didn't. I just stole Eddie's.
Because
Oh.
who would put $250 on that dumb bet?
That's what I thought. I was like, dang, you put 250
No,
on that.
I was just kidding on that one.
Okay.
But I did hit my 2 futures. I did hit. It was a good night. The game had already been determined, so I knew it was going to happen. I told you guys what was going to happen. We
You
hit
did.
our parlay on DraftKings. All 3. You know, it
Same
went
game
quick.
parlay.
Kelsey scored touchdown early, and that's the hardest one to get a specific player to score a touchdown. And the over was like 50.5, but they were scoring so many points early. You knew that was going to. And then it was just, can the Chiefs win at plus 1.5? And they did. So overall, really good game, right?
Great game.
I mean, and there were stories. Mahomes' ankle, Jalen Hurts is setting records, rushing for. It was just a great game. 2 best teams. It really wasn't dominated by injured players, which is great too. Because Mahomes had the hurt ankle, but when he was after halftime, he looked pretty good.
He didn't look like anything was hurting.
Like I said, I would have faked it too. Remember?
Hey, I thought about that the entire time. I heard your voice in my head going, I would fake that.
He'll always be a hero, more so than just winning 2 Super Bowls at a time. The ankle game. Let's talk about the holding penalty at the end, though, which is defensive holding. Eddie, I'll say nothing, but I will go to you. Your thoughts on it?
Refresh my memory.
Well, it's the penalty that shaped the whole game at the end.
What happened?
When he held the receiver?
Yeah.
Kevin, would you like Eddie, did you watch the
Yeah,
game?
what are you
I
It
did.
literally is
about?
the biggest story in the game last
Really?
night. Yes.
Oh, I think the turnover touchdown was the biggest story because I mean,
No.
All right. Okay.
Mike, did you see the penalty?
I did see that.
It's what shaped the whole game.
Everybody's talking about it.
It was
I wasn't.
they would have just kicked a field goal, and then Philadelphia would have had the ball with a minute and a half left, 2 minutes. But it was 3rd down. But because he held his jersey and they threw the defensive holding penalty, they got a 1st down. They went and slid down and then ran the clock out. I mean, that was it. So, Kevin, your thoughts on the penalty?
I hate the timing of it like everybody else. There was a little tug, yes. He even said that after the game. But the timing of it is just awful because now instead of the great game, most people are talking about this holding call, except for Eddie, I guess.
No, that's
Who
not
apparently
everybody
didn't.
else.
Are you sure you watched that game?
I watched it. I just thought like, okay, dude, when you don't have when you don't have skin in the game, or just kind of any kind of team, you kind of just watch it and be like, oh, okay,
It was
well, that's what
such
it
a
is.
massive part of the game, though.
I would just really wanted to see the Eagles get the ball back just as a fan, as a football fan.
I didn't because I don't want to lose the money. But I think that it was because at first you hear Panthers tight end.
Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen go, I don't know if I like that. And then you hear the ref in the booth
Mike Pierre.
who's like, it was definitely a hold. And so at first we were looking at a different part of the play. We didn't look at the very beginning when he came off. Right when he made his cut, he grabs the back of his jersey with his right hand and literally holds it, and it does affect the route. But I think the issue, if that play would have been called anywhere else, it'd have been for sure a hold. But it was so late in the game. But it's been consistent because that late hit penalty on Mahomes, remember that on the sideline, or maybe Burrow. It was in that game. There was a late hit penalty, and people were like, "Oh, you called it." And that, if you're gonna call real penalties, you got to be consistent. And they were, because that was a penalty too, where they said, "Ooh, I don't like the timing of it." But he did hit him.
It was a late hit.
It was a late hit, and they could have not called it because it wasn't just ugly. Remember, then after the game, the guy's like, "Why'd you hit the quarterback late?" So it was. Remember the Commodores game? Remember the Commanders game? I think they were playing the Giants or the Jets, and there was a play that wasn't called at the end. was like a pass interference or something, and that ref, people were just killing the ref. Remember, it was like week 14 or 15.
Yes, yeah.
I don't remember it exactly either, but I think as a ref, you just don't want anything to happen. You just want them to you don't want them to commit penalties. You don't have to call penalties. But if they do happen, you have to call it, and that was a holding. I put it on my Instagram story and rewound it a few times. Where right when he cuts, you see him grab the back of his jersey.
It was probably a couple times that he grabbed the jersey.
Just once.
Once before the turn, and then after the turn he grabbed, or right before the catch he
Well, he
grabbed
put
it
his
again.
hand on him, but I wouldn't have called that. Now you're an expert, Eddie.
Hey,
No,
I was
What I'm
gonna say, all of
saying,
a sudden
what I'm
you've
saying is
seen it?
I didn't think that was pivotal because the call was right. Like I didn't even think twice about that.
it was pivotal because
crazy.
they shut the game down. Everybody on Twitter exploded. Everybody after the game
And I
was
had
like,
to go to the bathroom, so when they reviewed it, I was like, perfect. Thank
They didn't
you.
review it. You can't review that call.
And then there a booth review on that?
No, not on a defensive holding.
Well, then I don't know what you guys do.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm okay with it, especially because I won. I'm a little biased, but I think they've been consistent at calling the calls and not just letting it go because it's the end of the game. And during the playoffs, that's been the consistent thing. They'll call the calls if they need to call them. And if I'm a ref, I'm probably doing that.
I hate it. I get it, but I hate it.
Yeah, I didn't like how it ended either
That's yeah.
because I think they still would have won the game. But you're right. That had a shot. I don't want to lose the money, though, either. I'm very biased.
I mean, it won me money too, so I'm not mad about that.
Yeah. So, biggest takeaway from the game last night? Could be anything at all, Eddie?
I think that just the turf management, like what on earth?
What?
Everyone's sliding around.
It was like a rain game.
That's
because
crazy.
of all that paint.
Even the Eagles kicker on the kickoff like almost fell.
Like
Like
turned his ankle, it looked like.
that is not good.
I mean, that's because they even paint the green part of the grass. They've been growing that grass for 2 years for this game, and they'd painted it all so it looked consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And they painted all the things that need to be painted. So that's double the paint.
Ugh.
And it was like they were playing in the mud. You know, we would have teams, we play them in high school, they would turn the water on in their field the night before and try to slop the field up because we were a really fast team. So they would try to slow us down by slopping the field up a little bit.
Dirty.
And so it almost looked like if that were to happen, without it being super obvious, that's what you would do.
And they were saying that the Chiefs played the Cardinals earlier in the season, and they had that same problem, so they kind of learned from it. Because if you looked, the Eagles were changing their cleats left and right, but
Yeah.
the Chiefs really weren't because they kind of knew what they were dealing with. Interesting. But that's just crazy. Crazy factor that you don't even think about.
Some say the game was
Rigged?
already determined. No, not rigged. I don't think it's rigged. I don't think it's rigged at all. Kevin?
Jalen Hurts, he was awesome.
was.
He was the best player on that field last night. Obviously, that one huge crucial fumble was big. But outside of that, you know, him and Mahomes going back and forth, Hurts was the best player on that field. And it sucks that he didn't win that game, but that guy is a real deal.
I don't think he's better than Mahomes.
No,
But you say best player because he wasn't injured.
just last night, I'm saying.
But even then,
He looked good, man.
he did look really good. But Mahomes also, he had 3 touchdowns, 187, some stat like not 200 yards, but they didn't have the ball that often. It was like the longest drive in the history of the Super Bowl last night. They're like 74 plays, 3.5 quarters, the longest drive ever. It's like, dang, the game started and now.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know that I would say Jalen Hurts was. You say he's better than Patrick Mahomes last night?
I'm saying overall, he was the best player on the field that I thought last night. Defense, offense, everything. Mahomes was unbelievable too. Hurts had more opportunities. Maybe that's what it is.
Hurts, fumble. I mean that.
I know that was huge.
But I'm going to tell you that holding call. Let me say this because everybody wants to look at the call at the end of the game. That play where the receiver catches it, turns, gets hit, and they called it an incomplete pass. He caught that ball. Like, no doubt about it. So I feel like they got a free one there because that was a touchdown. The Chiefs picked it up, scooped it, and ran it back. So
He was making that football move in your eyes?
He for sure caught it and was starting to slow.
That rule is so blurry. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Right.
is it a football
So
move?
my,
Is it not a football move?
My position
He
is
caught the dang ball.
They got pretty fortunate there. I thought they got fortunate on one of those go to tight end catches too that they gave him, where it looked like
where
he
it's,
was
bobbling a little bit in his helmet.
So it went a lot of ways, but I'm very biased because I won a lot of money. So it's hard for me not to be. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I can't really. It's hard.
Are you a closet Chiefs fan over here?
No, but I picked them before the season. I doubled down on it, and the game was already determined. So I won the parlay. DraftKings is just a good
Did
night.
you see the script or what? Did you like?
No, the script thing's not real, guys.
Okay, all right.
The game's already determined, though.
Score was close on that.
But the script thing was. Don't worry about that part of it.
All right.
Thought Stapleton was awesome.
It was
Yeah.
great.
Thought Rihanna was really good.
Yes.
I thought when people were hitting me up going, she sucked. I wanted her to do a full dance number. She didn't even dance. I'm like, bro, can't you tell like she's pregnant? I'm not going to say that outwardly on Twitter because I'm not quite sure.
That's risky.
But I'm like, I think she's pregnant. And no, we wanted more. We deserve more. What do you deserve, buddy?
You don't deserve
You
anything.
don't do crap except complain. Your team didn't even make it. Shut up. You should only complain if your team made it.
Right.
Yeah. Like you can only complain about politicians if you voted. I thought that Stapleton was awesome. Rihanna was awesome. I thought the game was great, which sometimes it's a real snoozer. Watched it by myself. My wife, some of the parts. Didn't overeat.
Oh, good. Good for you.
And I had to work out today. I texted Eddie. I was like, do you want to work out today? And he's like, I'm eating pizza right now.
So
And
probably.
he never actually answered. He just said, I'm eating pizza right now.
It's a no.
I thought that Terry Bradshaw was a little fat shaming of Andy Reid.
Oh, yeah.
Like multiple times in a row on that stand. He was like, waddle over here, fat boy. Hey, us fat guy. Hey, you want a cheeseburger, fat boy? I'm like, dude, chill.
Yeah, he did call him
Terry
big boy
Bradshaw,
or something.
Chill out, bro.
I had to rewind it to make sure he said waddle over here.
Yeah, I was like, well, why are you fat shaming Andy Reid? Andy Reid's like, just won a Super Bowl. And all of a sudden he's in his room crying because he's going to call him fat again. I did not stay and watch the show, the cooking show after. Did you guys?
No, the one they were promoted? No.
I thought it
No.
looked actually terrible.
The Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah.
No, I'm not watching
did
that.
not stick around for that.
What about the commercial that got me big time? The
Oh, the Tubi?
Tubi? Yeah. That was
Me too. I was
They got
like,
everyone.
I was like, Amazon. Wait, what? So luckily it was quick because I didn't have time to get to my remote.
Oh, I did.
That was. Oh, you did.
Oh, I went back onto my home screen of my TV. I was like, what is going on? I thought it was a dog that did it. We were freaking out. I was like, wait, the remote's over here. How did the dog do it? And then
That's a good one.
I go on Twitter. I'm like, oh, we got
Yeah, that was awesome.
Always risky to put a commercial at the end of the Super Bowl too. Not sure if you really get to choose that or not, but it's if you go end and the game's not close, that sucks.
Yeah.
I did bet on the first play not being a first down. At like minus 450, won like $30.
Yeah, Bones texted me immediately. I'm 1-0.
Yeah. I bet Travis Kelce over 6.5 catches, and he had 6.
Oh, man.
know.
I had Boston Scott over 10 yards. He had 8.
Oh, it was close.
So stupid.
It was close. But overall, I think I won like $8,000 last night.
That's amazing,
Wow.
dude. Good for you. Hey.
All in from the preseason, and those preseason bets won me a good amount of money. So that was cool. I liked it.
awesome.
And Arkansas lost the night before, and it was terrible, and I was sick about it.
That's God looking after you right there.
I was sick about it, and so I got this one. But that's the deal. Super Bowl, 2 thumbs up overall. 2 thumbs up for sure. We are now, obviously football's over. We'll still keep up with football when it's up as a story, but it won't be every week. But we have signed a new 6-week deal with DraftKings to go through March Madness. So come on, here we go. Thank you. But it's not, we're talking football, and we all wear a whistle. So we have Brandon, he cut it again and only replaced basketball with basketball. Let's see how we like it, because it's
All
not
right.
just a basketball show, but let's hear the basketball version.
This is a podcast called 25 Whistles, talking basketball, and they all wear a whistle. Yeah, it's stupid.
Okay,
but
right?
what did you
I like that.
Yeah. Or play the Gap version.
This is a podcast called 25 Whistles, talking sports.
Oh.
Wear a whistle. Yeah, it's stupid.
And we all yell sports. Let's do it again.
Okay. Now that we know.
Hit that again. I scared you all. That one. All right, go ahead.
This is a podcast called 25 Whistles, talking
Sports.
And they all wear a whistle. Yeah,
What do you
it's
think?
stupid.
Which one do you want to do? Sports?
I like yelling sports.
I like yelling.
Or we could do it each time and just yell something we like collectively. Mike, what do you think? You want to yell?
I like yelling.
Okay. So we're bringing on to the show for the next 6 weeks Coleman Crawley, the kid who's driving all around the country going to all the basketball games.
Yes.
So I've hired him to be part of the show, and he's going to come on and talk about that. And Caitlin's grandpa at 85 years old. I went and interviewed him at his high school basketball game.
Is this a one-time deal with
It
him?
is.
Or okay.
Oh,
all right.
okay.
Yeah.
Week.
This is a one-time thing. with them.
Okay.
So hope you guys more smiles and frowns on the Super Bowl. We won our parlay. It was a great game last night. Thank you for letting us. We were going to retire, but they gave us some money to do 6 more episodes, 6 more weeks, which probably means more than 6 episodes if you know me.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But then after that, we'll hit our retirement streak. Thank you, and let's do this. Okay, we're going to bring on the newest member of the show. We met him in an interview. I mean, I've never actually seen his body in real life. I'm not sure he's actually a real human being. except for the internet. But here he is, Coleman Crawley.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Coleman, welcome to the show. After this, you're not a guest anymore. Like, you're just part of the show. But this is
Recording in progress.
recording in progress.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah, Coleman, full disclosure, recording in progress.
They're going back
Got
down.
it. Got it.
So, Coleman, just as we're moving from football to basketball, we talked about your story where you're driving all over the country, watching a lot of these mid-majors play, looking for the next Cinderella. But how are you able to keep up with college basketball in general if you're always on the road?
No, to be fully transparent, I am not able to keep up with it as much as I was when I was able to sit at home on my couch on a Saturday and, flip through 20, 25 plus games between my phone on ESPN Plus and between what's on the TV. I'm not able to watch as much as I was before. But still, checking in on scores, and when I can see games, I watch them.
Who do you think right now are the best 4 teams in college basketball? Right, if you had to put them up right now, you bet money this is the Final Four.
So I feel like I've seen the best team in person. Last Sunday, I went and watched Houston take on Temple on the road, and I think Houston's the best team in the country. I do think playing in the American and not seeing Power 6, Elite 8 or better type competition in their conference does hurt them just a little bit. But, man, Kelvin Sampson and what he's done at Houston has been incredible. They focus so much on the defensive end. And when they're turning you over, getting in transition, wow, are they very difficult. Purdue, they just lost on Sunday, but I still think they're probably one of the best 4 teams in the country. I mean, Zach Edey at 7'4", how do you guard that? You can't teach that size. Alabama, although I think their style is inconsistent because they rely so much on the 3 ball, and I don't think it's a style that's going to win a national championship, I do think they're one of the 4 best teams. And when they're hitting from the outside, they could be the best team in the country. And then UCLA is another team that I like their balance, that I think those are the top 4. But I think we're going to have a chaotic tournament where the top 4 aren't,
Right.
making it to the Final Four or winning the title.
Yeah, and it's whoever gets put in, what region as well. But just a
Right.
couple of those, like you watched Houston play. Do you not feel like they're too guard centric? Because at times, it's 3 and 4, guard wings. Do you feel like that's going to be able to hold up through the tournament?
I think their inside guys are good enough. Reggie Chaney, Jawan Roberts. I think they're good enough to complement their guard, Shed Sasser. And then they've got a freshman in Jarris Walker that, gosh, freshmen shouldn't be built that way. I mean, holy cow, he's got an NBA-ready body, looks about like Zion Williamson, may not be able to jump quite like him. But I think he can be physical enough, although he does float out to the perimeter, that he can help them inside as well at times on boards or defensively. That I think their inside presence is good enough where they have some balance.
With Alabama, just looking at their shot charts after the game, I mean, you're right. They shoot 3 or they shoot it right by the goal. I mean, rarely are you going to see any sort of mid-range jumper from a Nate Oates team, and that's how they've always done it. And you're right. If they're on, they are big trouble. However, they lost big time to Oklahoma earlier this year, and Oklahoma is a slow, not completely up to where they're going to be athletically because they have a new coach over there recruiting kind of a different system now. But if Alabama is – but shooting threes, and you played ball obviously, is it harder to shoot threes in an away gym?
I would say so, yes. I mean, you're just not as familiar as you are in your home gym that you're practicing every day.
Why do I suck in both then, home and away? Because you
just
feel like you would be able to play better in some gym, but I'm not. But Alabama, you're right. They are very athletic. They've got freshmen that are awesome. And if they are shooting 38 to 42% from 3, like, they are so lethal.
Absolutely. They have that potential to run anyone in the country out of the gym if they're shooting well from 3, if they have a great 3-point shooting night. But I think that style of play where you essentially eliminate the mid-range game just creates inconsistency, and we see a loss like they had at home to Oklahoma 2 years before. They did the exact same thing, lost to Oklahoma when they were playing some of the best basketball in the country. We saw them bow out, I think, in the Sweet 16 that year. I could see something similar with this team where they're a trendy pick, but I think relying on just threes or attacking the rim creates some inconsistency where I don't trust them to win 6 straight when we get to late March.
The Duke-Virginia game was interesting. I have a friend who's a Duke fan. I'm not a Duke fan in any way whatsoever. But he was sending screenshots of, like, the clock with oh, 2 seconds left and foul, and they fouled after. What happened? Because I know Duke ended up losing in overtime. What happened in that game that was so controversial?
Well, when the ACC released a statement afterwards, basically saying, hey, we're sorry, the refs got it wrong. There was contact in the shot being released before the clock struck 0, but for whatever reason in that review, maybe it was because they were playing at Virginia, the refs felt scared to make that call. They decided to send it into overtime. Virginia able to win that one in overtime. You would assume Kyle would be able to hit one of those two, and Duke would have got out of there with a big-time road win. I feel bad for him, but you feel like Duke gets those calls all the time,
Dude,
right?
I like to see Duke get screwed over
again.
for once. Yeah, that's right. Duke, that's how we feel all the time. Every other team. That's how we feel all the time. Biggest impact freshman this year so far.
We just talked about Bama. I would maybe have to say Brandon Miller. Wow, he's been awesome. At one point, I don't know what he's averaging now, but he was averaging about 18.5 and 8.5 boards per game. He's been exceptional. I think he's been the best so far. We just mentioned Kyle as well, Kyle Filipowski, who had that controversial no call at the end of the game for Duke. But gosh, 7-footer that moves really well and can shoot on occasion from the perimeter is another guy that could contend for that. A couple others, Keontae George of Baylor, Anthony Black of Arkansas, Grady Dick of Kansas, and then Jarris Walker, who I'd mentioned. He's really coming on strong at Houston.
I watch these freshmen. He mentions the freshman from Bama who they keep calling the next Kevin Durant, but it's like pump your brakes a little bit. Like, hold on just a minute. Like, it's hard. But because you don't hear anybody go the next LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're not respecting Kevin Durant then, because Kevin Durant is like almost right there. Like, Kevin Durant's one of the best 15 players ever. In my opinion. Yeah. And they're like, he's the next K. I'm like, slow down just a little bit on comparing him to KD. But when you have these freshmen like an Anthony Black, or who's a 6'6" point guard and really had to develop offensively over the year, and they're coming and they're going so quick. And Eddie, maybe you feel weird about this too. It's hard for me to look at them as like 18-year-olds.
Oh, yeah.
Because now they also got $1 million in their pocket, too.
I know, man. It makes us feel like crap.
Yeah. I'm like, you're 18. You're going to class. You got $1 million. And you're out just feeling cool and calm in front of 20,000 people playing basketball. But I guess if you're just good at it your whole life, maybe it's easier.
And Grady Dick, you talked about him. He doesn't look like he's, 19? Like, he looks older. And it's funny, like, he's got a face of an older dude. So I don't even think of him as a 19-year-old guy.
How many points you average a game, Coleman?
Like 16 my junior year, 13 my senior year.
Why less? They started shutting you down. They were like, that's the guy we got to stop.
They figured him out.
Mm-hmm.
So we were better. We started destroying everybody. So I went from playing my junior year like 28 minutes a game to 20. So played less minutes, didn't have as many close games.
So you had to suffer because you guys got better?
Yeah, we played in a lot of close games my junior year. They had lost a lot of seniors from the year before. And then my senior year, we were blowing everybody out. Sometimes we'd only play the first quarter.
Did you guys win a state championship?
No, that's a tough topic to bring up, Bobby.
Why?
No,
What
we were
happened?
ranked number 1, got beat in the quarters.
Wait, that's not how it's supposed to work. Hold on. You're ranked 1 and you got beat in the quarters? By who?
Yep, by Tuttle.
And what happened in that game? Did you get robbed somehow?
No, we got off to a 24-0 start. We lost to Stillwell in the regional final, won 3 straight to get to the state tournament. The Stillwell coach and the Tuttle coach exchanged film. Stillwell was having to play the Mannix and Hera. Tuttle was playing us. And Tuttle knew every single play we were calling. Right when we'd yell it out, they'd know exactly where we were going.
Well,
they
not
just
supposed to
scouted
change
the
film?
absolute heck out of us.
I mean, you're not supposed to do that?
No, they absolutely can do that. They just knew everything we were going to run. They shot the heck out of it. We zoned them, got beat, sent home early.
Most threes you ever hit in a game?
9, I think.
Oh,
wow. After like 4, I'd have been kicking him in the balls.
It was 7 in the first quarter, so kind of embarrassing. I only hit 2 more after that.
Okay, did you ever experience the zone?
A zone against me?
No, like you're in the zone. You hit 7 and a quarter, where it's like nothing's missing.
Where the fire's coming out of the ball?
Yeah,
he's on fire.
That game specifically.
So, what does that feel like when you shoot? You make 7 and a quarter. Does it just feel like the rim is just massive and nothing you throw up is gonna miss?
Absolutely. I mean, you just get into that muscle memory. For me, I put in so much work daily that it starts to feel like practice, where you're used to knocking down 85% from three. It feels like you're practicing, when you get in the zone like that and think everything's going in.
Dang, I've never been in the zone in anything in my life
Nah.
ever. Ever, anything. Like, and this guy's doing it like
I doubt it.
17. You're traveling around the country. Where are you today?
I am in Greensboro, North Carolina, but I'm about to head up to Washington, D.C., watch Maryland Eastern Shore play Howard.
And are people hooking you up, getting you in places?
Sometimes. So I just had an incredible experience at Liberty on Saturday. They gave me a campus tour. Their facilities are Power 6 good. It's incredible. But other times I'm just going to the game, getting a ticket like a regular.
Okay, this is what we should do, because I think we could probably help him, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know anybody, but usually we can swing these nads around a little bit and get some stuff.
Mhm.
So you're going to Washington, D.C. today?
Yes.
Okay. I wonder, because Lauren is now working on this show off mic, if she can get a hold of somebody in the university and be like, he's coming, he's representing Bobby. I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe
That'd be incredible.
Well, maybe half the time we can get. Listen, it don't always work, and sometimes it's really embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes my friends will do it, and I'm not even there. They're like, "Hey, Bobby Bones gonna be here for dinner," and they're like, "Who is that?" And then it's embarrassing because I didn't know they were gonna do it, and then they still tell me I got rejected. So let us
Hurt your ego a little.
Yeah, well, my ego's constantly hurt, but let us make some calls, and maybe we can get him in some places with a little more oomph than having to buy a ticket and just go to a game.
Yeah.
How many miles do you think you put on your car this year so far?
Just since I started this, just under 13,000.
And when did
Dang.
you start this?
December 28th.
13,000 miles since.
Dude, hitting the road.
And your wife, is she ever like, yo, that's fun, I'm supporting you, but like seriously, do you have to go to all the games?
Yeah. No, people definitely do think I'm crazy. Like, I'm coming in for my brother's district game on the 17th, so I will miss a game on a Friday. And like, I've got friends wanting to kind of meet up for a birthday party. I'm like, I'm sorry, I got to hit the road. I got to be in Southern Illinois by Sunday at 2:00. I just can't be doing that. And they're like, can't you miss a day? Sorry, no.
But you're by
Committed.
yourself a lot, right?
Yeah, quite often.
Just
Besides
driving.
when my wife comes.
I called Coleman whenever I was going to the Grammy red carpet. I had 3 minutes, and I wanted to call and be like, "Hey, we want you to join the show, like full as part of us." And I was like made up completely, all suit and makeup, and I was like, "Hey, Coleman, do you want to join the show?" It's like all hot. Who's got the biggest shot as of so far? The teams you've seen at being a Cinderella this year in the tournament.
I talked about them in the previous show I was on with you, but I think Marshall, and what's crazy is they aren't leading the Sun Belt. They have 4 Sun Belt losses. I've now seen them twice live. I just saw them near Myrtle Beach playing Coastal Carolina. And offensively, God, are they special. I mentioned Tavion Kinsey. He is absolutely a pro, 6'5", can rise up over anyone to get his shot off, score at all 3 levels. Great shooter, passer, facilitator, and Andy Taylor. Dan D'Antoni, they won a game as a 13 seed not that long ago. I could easily see them doing something like that again as a 13 or 12 seed. To mention a couple others, Dayton, I think they have the potential. A couple pro-type candidates. They just got Malachi Smith, Kobe Elvis healthy. When they did, they looked great on Friday. Sorry, my hotel room's wanting me to check out. Can I
Classic. I tell you,
answer them real
look,
quick?
you go do that. We'll let and next week it'll be. Oh,
He did it.
there we go. They're like, "Sir, you peed in the
Okay,
floor." And-
I'm back.
All right. Good luck. We'll reach out to you later off air and see if we can facilitate something. If not this time, we can be ahead of them next time.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Head down now.
tell him you pooped in the floor.
It's not working.
Yeah.
He's really late on that checkout.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, Coleman. We'll see you. Later on this week.
Okay. Thank you all so much.
All right, see you, buddy. There he is. Coleman
Bye.
Crawley. I want to get over now and do this interview with Caitlin's grandpa,
Yes.
which we went to Oklahoma to watch him coach. I believe he's 85 years old, about to turn 86. He's been in coaching for 60 years. Although after the interview, he did want me to say that he retired for a little bit because his wife, Caitlin's grandma, got cancer for a while. And so he was 60 years, but he hopped out and then got back in.
Little asterisk he wanted to. Just
Yeah,
to
and
make
I was
sure.
like, who cares? Don't
Yeah.
say 75 years. Who cares?
Right.
He was like, no, I want to be honest. But, we went, and during the game, the coach on the opposing team walks over, grabs one of these tumbler cups with ice, and just chunks it in the middle of the floor while the team was playing.
That's crazy,
What?
dude.
So, yeah, I've never seen anything like it before in my life. And so he chunks it, and it goes everywhere, water. And they were like, what happened? He's like, I couldn't get the ref's attention. So I've never seen this happen before in a game. But you know who walks over there to take care of business? Caitlin's grandpa.
Oh,
Right over, got right with him, started talking. The guy's like, I'm sorry. Yep. Went back, sat down, game over. And then they ended up winning Stigler. But this is it. 85 years old, 60 years basically in coaching. And there was a point on the Instagram story where I said, hey, he's been a part of 2 state championship winning teams. He's coached for 60 years, and he's got a hot granddaughter. And people didn't know that was Caitlin's grandpa.
Oh, my God.
They were just like, why are you posting that somebody has a hot granddaughter?
hey, that does sound creepy.
Yeah.
Without the context.
Yeah,
Like,
but
if you just said that about
no,
someone.
but like 2 stories earlier, I was like, we're in Stigler. This is Coach Parker, Coach Jim Parker. Everybody needs to relax, okay?
It's a hot granddaughter.
Mike, is there any other way I need to set this up?
That's perfect.
Okay, here you go. Thank you. Okay, a lot of drama at the game tonight. What happened out there on the court?
The coach got upset because of the officiating, and there was a cup of pop sitting on the desk, scorer's desk, and he just reached up and got whatever he could get, got the cup, threw it on the floor. I've coached for a long time, and I have never seen any coach do that, and he did not get ejected.
Why did he not get ejected? I
It's
saw.
automatic ejection, but the official went and talked to him, and then he decided, well, he wouldn't do it. He just let it go this time, but that's automatic. Should be.
You were the first one over there to talk to him. What did you say?
I said, what's going on? He said, Coach, he said, you've known me a long time, and he said, I'm sorry for that. He said, it's just a reaction to the way the officials were. And he said, I don't know what happened to me. And I said, hey, I know you, and I've known you for a long time, but you know better than that.
It looked to me like your mouth said, how would you like a knuckle sandwich? Is that what happened?
Well, that's kind of what maybe it could have come to.
How many years you been coaching at this point?
Oh, counting the Whitefield and the Stigler, 63, I think.
63 years of coaching, and you got put in the Coaches Hall of Fame here in Oklahoma. How big of a thrill and honor was that?
It was the culmination of a career that I would have never dreamed when I was raised up in Tomahawk and going to Tomahawk grade school, and which went to the 8th grade, and I was just a little old kid running around barefooted and playing on a dirt court. That wasn't even thought of, and it was the top of the mountain for me for my career. Once you get to that point, hey, everything's downhill from there. But it hasn't been. I got that in 17, and I've had a great time. I've told Coach, I said, hey, I love girls basketball, and that's the reason I'm still doing it.
Were you ever any good?
I could play a little.
What does it mean then? Like you play a little. Like how good were you back in the day?
Oh, hey, I could score. I played. Of course, Tomahawk, we played all these country schools like Red Hill and Star and Enterprise, and all had dirt courts marked off with a
You
hoe.
played on dirt courts?
It was dirt court marked off with a hoe. Mark your free throw line and your half court and your out of bounds with a hoe.
And that counted like official game?
No, those were when I went to school.
That's what I'm saying, though. But that was the real game?
Yeah.
On a dirt court?
Yes. Every Friday
Did
afternoon.
you ride horses to school?
No. We didn't have a bus. We rode to school or walked to school. Some people would walk to school that lived in a mile or two, and the other kids would catch a ride or maybe get a farm truck coming in or something and ride it. But
What made you want to get into coaching then once you finished school?
well, I loved athletics. I played high school basketball and high school baseball, and baseball was my first love. I went on to Connors and played a little college ball, and loved it, and went to St. Louis tryout camp for 3 days after I got out of school. And
What does that mean? You went to St. Louis tryout camp? Like
St. Louis Cardinals had a tryout camp
For baseball?
for baseball in Tulsa. And I went up there and stayed 3 days, and with about 35 other kids and one kid from River Falls, made it. A guy named Charles Pearson.
a guy named Lou Brock.
And a guy named Lou Brock. And a funny story on that, when Grace was getting married, we were having her wedding, and this guy come and tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, is your name Jim Parker? I said, yeah. He said, you know me? And I said, no, I don't know you. He said, my name's Charles Pearson. He said, you remember Tulsa baseball tryout camp? I said, yes. And I hadn't seen him in 40-some-odd years at that time. But he goes to Billy for the eye doctor, and Billy, of course, he associated Billy with Grace and so on. But it was something that I wouldn't have known him in 1,000 years, and he probably wouldn't have known me either. But no, athletics and baseball, I've loved it, and basketball. Basketball, of course, is my love right now, has been.
Who's the best basketball player you've ever seen play in person? Watching a game?
Oscar Robinson played for Cincinnati. Saw him play in Tulsa. Other than him, face to face, I've never seen anybody like him.
Who's better, LeBron or Michael Jordan?
Oh gosh, Michael Jordan.
Why? You're wrong. Why do you think you're wrong?
I'm not wrong. Michael played a different game. Now, hey, LeBron's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player. But his mouth runs off, which doesn't take away from his playing so much. But I can't say he's greater than Michael, because Michael got out there and played every ball game. Never.
He quit for a couple of years and played baseball.
Yeah, he did do that.
Changed his number. He retired. He's kind of wimped out, you know.
Yeah, he did.
A lot of rumors about gambling, you know.
Who do you think is the best shot out of all your grandchildren?
Okay, I was gonna ask your granddaughter wants to ask a question.
Who do you think has the best shot out of all your grandchildren? From Tyler all the way down to Cade. A lot of options.
Would you ask that again, Caitlin?
Which grandkid has the best shot of all of them?
I want to show you.
You want to show me? This is audio.
I was going to show you a picture in the other office.
I'll follow you. Okay, we're in the office right now.
Well, it's not going to be me.
Lots of pictures. We're walking back to see possibly
Set you out to say me.
picture back here of
This is
this.
Chris, and this is his daughter Grace.
No.
Or his daughter.
First of all,
His daughter.
So Chris is the boys' coach, and that's his daughter Rayleigh.
Yeah, Rayleigh's here.
They win. Rayleigh wins.
Yeah, Rayleigh.
Okay. Well, she wasn't even on your.
I'll have a shootout with her right now.
Yeah, we're gonna go out to the court and shoot out right now.
Do what?
I'll have a shootout with Rayleigh right now.
Well, hey, I never did see you shoot a lot of basketball.
Just her mouth.
I like to pass.
All right, fine. Let me wrap up with this.
Hey, Billy Dan had a pretty decent shot on him. I did have a picture in there of him, and I think I took it down and it went home. But Chris, Billy was an alternate All-Stater, and I had it in a trophy case.
I heard he got a patch made for him.
Email made him a patch that said alternate all-star.
Made an alternate All-State patch.
He had a big picture, and Meemaw got fixed it all up for him, and we put it in a trophy case. And then he said, Dad, I don't want that in there. Take that down. So anyway, I ended up taking it down. It's hanging on my wall at home now with all my other stuff.
All right, 2 final questions. How many state championships have you been a part of?
3 state championships, two state championships, 1 runner-up.
Oh,
So you've been a part of 2 winning championships.
2 that we won. 1 that was a runner-up, got beat on a last-second shot by Jay in 1988. And then we turned around and won 90 and 91. We won the state championship in 90 and 91. I got to go to state 6 times.
Of all the people, your final question here. Of all the people that your grandkids have married, who's your favorite? Well, don't answer that yet. Follow me. This is a great one here. Keep following me. So what I'm going to get under this desk here. Now, if you remember, you messaged and you wanted some boots, these American flag boots. Now, which grandkid married the best?
Right now, I would say probably Caitlin.
That's right. That's the answer. 1 for 2. So,
Hey, I was born at night, but it wasn't last night, and I ain't stupid.
congratulations on a win and a great career, and for having a heck of a grandson-in-law, because that's where you really hit the jackpot.
Hey, I appreciate y'all coming. This was a total surprise to me. I had no idea this was going to happen. And you thrilled the whole building.
Yeah.
We want to go see Bobby Bones. Of course, they didn't mention Caitlin.
No, trust me, they did. Okay, we're out from Stigler. A big win tonight for the boys and the girls. And that's all. Back to you, me. All right, that's a wrap. Thanks to Coleman, who'll be on the show every show until the end of March Madness. Thanks to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs for making me a lot of money.
Hey, and entertaining us. It was a great game.
Mostly about making money.
That too.
And, thanks to you guys for listening, because we have renewed for 6 more weeks to do this. We have a new logo. You'll see if it's not up now. I don't know how much visual we did here, but you'll see it at least on Friday. But your final thought, Eddie?
My final thought is just I'm going to confess something to my wife. Usually I do $40 a month of DraftKings. You know, like when I lose, I lose. But when I'm, the start of the month, February 1st, March 1st, I recharge $40.
Sir.
Super Bowl was coming. I was a little low in the bank.
Yes, sir.
So I had to deposit $100. I lost about 50 of that last night, but that's okay.
But this doesn't count as confessing to her because she'll never hear this.
Sure. No, just in case she wants to listen to a
This is in his
podcast, she
own head.
listens. This is me confirming, and I'm going to get it off my chest. So
But no,
there you
it
go.
doesn't count unless you actually tell her.
It's
It's like you going into a room in a building she's not in and say, I'm going to confess to this empty room.
Yeah, but I got it out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I got
so
it
that's
out.
what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Kevin?
Mine is I miss the Patriots being in the Super Bowl already.
Oh, shut
It's been a
up.
while,
You don't even know what it's
guys.
like.
Yeah, get out
And
of
I had to
here.
watch that game yesterday, and I just miss it already. The game's just not the same when your team's not in it.
Stupid.
My thing last year and this year coming up will be the last years for the 14 playoff. So 2024 is going to be awesome because 12 teams. We got one more year of 14. We got 12 teams in the playoff. We're going to have USC and UCLA leaving the Pac-12 for the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's going to be
We're going to
great.
have Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC. 2024 is going to be awesome. So next year is going to be great, but 2024, I'm so excited about that because more teams in the playoffs. And the Oklahoma Texas thing for the Southeast Conference just makes sense. The games are close.
Mm-hmm.
They're close proximity-wise. It's going to be amazing. And secondly, when you're on a golf course, never try to give the guy you're playing with a golf lesson, especially if you're not as good as him. And we mentioned this briefly. I've been traveling a bunch. I was like, let's play golf. Eddie and I go play golf with a couple friends. I was playing terrible. I couldn't even hit the ball straight. It's like, well, let me tell you what to do. Back up. And I'm like, first of all, let me handle my business here. I don't want a golf lesson on the course from somebody I beat 9 times out of 10.
Trying to help my boy,
But you don't go, hey man, why don't you in front of other people?
Everyone else was trying to tell you what to do.
No, they weren't. Literally, they weren't.
They do that all the time.
They didn't. They weren't, and they didn't.
And I've been your caddy. Who's your caddy, dude? Hey, look at me. Who's your caddy?
You're not my golf coach. And
Who's
then he
your
goes, well,
caddy?
I'm beating you, and I'm like, yeah, one time out of like 40.
Hey, bro, you were playing really bad. I
I
felt bad for
real
you.
bad. I was playing real bad.
I felt
Where
bad
I like
for
my
you.
arms didn't even feel like part of my body, so I didn't need a lesson. I needed like an arm transfusion. Like,
You couldn't give him your arms?
No, man, I needed my arms. I was playing too.
All right, thank you guys. Follow us at 25 Whistles, and we'll see you Friday.